Hello, everyone. Welcome to Fearfully Greedy. In today's episode, I will just give you an update on the portfolio, a bit on the recent news and additions. First, I did some buying. So I bought a new company, which is Rao International, right? I bought 2,400 shares for 54 pence or cents of pounds. Total amount with fees, it's 1,500 euros. I will make a full investment thesis of this company, so I already have the presentation almost ready. So in a few weeks, you should see it, right? I just wanted to let you know I already started the position. And then I also added the 500 euros for this month. And before that, let me see. I think you already saw the previous deposit, which was on the 4th of May. And then the one for June here. Okay. The 3rd of June, I added 1,000 more. And then this last one, 5th of July, right? Uh, about the portfolio, well, first, the very big news. I will get into the news in a minute. I just wanted to show you also the Excel. We have a 14% gain since we started the portfolio, almost a year, right? Although we started with very little cash, right? And then I kept adding, moving more assets to here. This is not what I usually can put in the market in a year, but I sold some of my more private portfolio and got into putting it here. I think it's more fun. I will maybe give you a bit of thoughts of what happened with the portfolio during the year, but maybe that on another video. I don't want to make it too long. And then for ShareSite, I also want to give you the year to date, which I use ShareSite to do so. And we're around 12% gain for the year, counting all the money that I have been putting in. Keep in mind, although this gain looks small, and this could be pure luck because volatility, this is mostly volatility, not that I'm right or wrong. But most of the money has been added on the second half of the year, right? If you see here, I added 6,000 on, let me see, on January, right? And the portfolio started on last July. So it's been going for a while, but I think I'm pretty happy with the results, the portfolio I have built. I'm happy owning these companies for now. Also, remember, this is not financial advice. Do your own research, seek a professional, do your own work, and this is not any advice at all. Just sharing my journey. Then the main news would be first one would be Biogen, which aducanumab got approved, right? So this we got a like 25% appreciation. I would love to tell you that I'm a genius and I'm super smart. I knew it all along. Well, I made a video about it and I gave you a bit my odd view on the probabilities of this happening. But, well, it got approved. There's a good side of this, a bad side of this, but now that this is approved, I think is where Biogen really shines, is with the distribution, marketing, getting all the doctors involved, and so on. Here they release some news with the Eisai, it's their collaborators from Japan, and you will see that they expect like 2 million patients that could be with this treatment. And then also they are trying to be very thoughtful of the cost because although it got approved, it wasn't like super clear. It got a lot of controversy. So they want to, I don't know, be face forward. They're like try to make a good thing for everyone, right? So from 1 to 2 million patients, I think that gives a ridiculous number for revenues. As I don't know if all of them will be treated in the next 5 years or not, but I think good things are coming for Biogen, and they have other treatments that got very good news. But for this video, I think that's pretty much it. There's also like a short side of this news, like a bad rap from it. Like first, it lowered a bit maybe the standard of FDA approval for treatments. So that can also have maybe quicker competition in like there are other drugs that do kind of the same thing that Aduhelm, not as proven, but those could get approved and they would have competition there. But the market for Alzheimer's is so huge that I think it's a win no matter what. So I think for the valuation we paid and the valuation that is now, it's still very cheap. So I will keep owning it, but I have some thoughts for Biogen at the end of the video. Same with Intel. So stay tuned for that. Then we have Shinoken. Shinoken, you remember, is the constructor from Japan. They have a very wide range of services. They are trying to go into like full life of their client service. So from when they are young up to when they're very old. So the latest news, we had another elder care facility that they have just built, 46 rooms. I don't know. It's good to see. It's not the first time we see this. So they have many different centers doing this, but it's good to see like the execution. Like if you see the pictures, I love being there. I mean, well, I like my space, but come on, it looks very good. It looks like a 5-star hotel. Don't lie. Uh, so, well, I think I'm very much I like this company a lot. I like how they communicate. I love how they are executing so far. And so far, not much more to add. The thesis is still happening. Next up, a very quick update. This is for Rao Lietuva. This was an electrical trading company, like the electrical company in Lithuania, Poland, and the Baltic countries, right? So this is their volumes that they have been producing. If you see here, the number is very clear, right? They did more than double the last first quarter sales. The margin looks a bit worse, but at the end you see it's better, right? Since the fixed costs don't take that much into it. If you see the net profit, it's like 3/4 of what we did last year for the entire year, and it's only the first quarter. I don't know how the market is for this quarter. There are no updates yet, but when the first quarter is 3/4 of the last entire year, and the last year it wasn't the best year, but it wasn't a bad one. We did a good return, so things are looking good in the Lithuania subsidiary, electrical subsidiary. Then for Teekay, not much to say. I mean, the super cycle is still coming, but maybe in the second half of the year. So we didn't have a very big results from Teekay Tankers. They did a small loss per share, maybe bigger than someone expected, but we saw that in the last video, so we didn't get results yet. So we should wait for second quarter results to make another opinion about it, but it should be online. Then TGP, which we own through the mother company, they are executing flawlessly, albeit they have 90 something percent, 95, 97% of the fleet already rented for the next year, almost next 2 years. So, I mean, execution is just keep the checks coming and keep pumping great results. As you know, TGP much better company than Teekay Tankers, but TGP it's also higher price. Like it's not as cheap of a company as Teekay Tankers, and I think the super cycle will give a very good valuation for tankers. Is this a permanent holding for me? Maybe TGP is, maybe TK Corp is, but maybe tankers not so much. Once the cycle happens, once we have very good returns for maybe a year or so, when the valuation gets where I think it's normalized place, I might exit TK, right? So that's a bit my thoughts on TK. Then for Warrior, this is our second biggest position, so very important. Sadly, it's been maybe 3 months now that we have having the strike and no agreement has happened. I mean, it's sad for the union. It's sad for the employees, and also for the investors. I wish they would get into an agreement that would make sense for everyone. That the company can have good, solid financial success, so everyone can have a job for a while. Because if this takes much longer, damage could be permanent at this point, right? You cannot have a company stopped for this long. So far, I don't think this has changed my thoughts on the company. I think it's still very cheap, but I really wish an agreement that would benefit both parties is reached pretty soon, right? Because if not, everyone will lose. So I cannot add much more. I'm feeling for everyone, for the employees mainly, and I wish this gets resolved quickly and we can get back to business, to producing for the world. Then Intel will get results on the 22nd. So we got some news on future plans for next year, for the next couple of years. A lot of like subsidiary from the government for these microchips to get some silicon back into the States. I think that's good for Intel. It doesn't change the thesis a lot. The ticker terminal, if you don't have access, I would try get one. I think it's very good. Here I have all the companies I have at the moment, right? If we see the market cap or the enterprise value of these companies, I have some like pretty small companies, like up to here. Then we have Biogen, we have Intel, and then we have Berkshire. I think Berkshire is here to stay. I'm not selling. Even if they die, I'm not selling. It's a permanent holding. I like having it there. It's a good foundation. And I think it will be many multiples of what it is now in the next 20 years. So I think it has a sentimental value. So for us, Berkshire, it will say as it is, right? I think it's a great company and not looking to sell it. But then we have, let's get back to enterprise value. We have Intel and Biogen, which are much, maybe very, very big cap for what I'm trying to do with this portfolio. I'm trying to explore places that are not as seen, right? And although I think I will make money on this too, if I get an opportunity to exit them when I think the valuation is right, I will go into some smaller cap companies that I might have a bigger edge over someone else, that there are not as many analysts. And I think that's the plan for the long term of the portfolio. With that said, I don't have many more thoughts on the complete portfolio. I think it's looking good. I'm happy where it is, and I said in the next weeks, expect the full investing thesis on Ra International, right? I think it will be interesting, and I enjoyed a lot making the presentation. So expect that in some weeks. Also, if you like the channel and the portfolio and this kind of videos or the investment thesis and so on, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. It really helps a lot the channel. Well, everyone, be safe, take care, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.